from the nooks and crannies of this nation. OSBC brings you the news. News across the country.
Good evening and welcome to the news across the country. Counsel for Parties round of cases as Election Petition Tribunal reserves judgment. Proton condemns destruction of billboards in Benue. Entertainment news focuses on economic and social impact of Owambe Party. 10 die in road accident on Lagos-Ibadan Express Road. All is now set tomorrow morning for the grand finale of the year 2023 Armed Forces Remembrance Day celebrations in Osun State. A statement by the Secretary to Osun State Government and the State Chairman, Armed Forces Remembrance Day Celebrations Planning Committee, Alhaji Teslim Igbalaye, indicates that the Governor of Osun State, Senator Ademola Adeleke, will personally grace the occasion as he leads the arrays of who is who in line of the ceremonial rite at the grave of the unknown soldiers. Venue of the occasion is the new military cenotaph located in front of the State House of Assembly complex along Osogbo-Gbongan Road, Osogbo. Alhaji Igbalaye added that the State Deputy Governor, Prince Kola Adewusi, the Speaker of Osun State House of Assembly, and both Timothy Oweye, the Chief Judge of the State, Justice Adekpile Ojo, the Chief of Staff, Alhaji Kozim Akileye, and the Head of Service, Mr. Anyole Yano, will also be in attendance to lay the symbolic rite. Others are traditional rulers and other top functionaries of the public, including heads of governmental and non-governmental organizations, members of the Nigerian Legion, and the families left behind by the fallen heroes. Highlights of the occasion, which will be preceded by an inspection of guard of honor by Governor Ademola Adeleke, will be the 21 symbolic gun salute by a combined contingent of the personnel of the Nigerian Army, Navy, Air Force, Immigration, the Police and Civil Defense as a mark of respect and honor in memory of the gallant but dead soldiers. In the meantime, the motoring and non-motoring public, especially private and commercial vehicle drivers, have been enjoined to observe all necessary safety precautions tomorrow morning while commuting along the State House of Assembly complex during the period of the strictly military fanfares in honor of the fallen soldiers. Counsel for parties to the election petition at the Osun State Election Tribunal sitting in Osogbo, the state capital, have presented their respective addresses as the court reserved judgment in the electoral dispute filed by former governor Deboyega Oyetola to upturn the last governorship election won by Senator Ademola Adeleke. Counsels for respondents, which comprises the councils represented INEC, Governor Ademola Adeleke, and PDP Bulwark, their argument with plethora of legal authorities that the claims of overvoting and electoral irregularities by the former governor were not founded on law and urged the tribunal to dismiss the allegations as frivolous. Details of our reporter Adeboye Bobola is now presented from our studios. Counsel for INEC maintained that who opposed the arrangement by counsels for former governor that Governor Ademola Adeleke is incompetent to hold the governorship position, submitted that the virtue of Section 318 of the Constitution, the document presented to INEC by Governor Ademola Adeleke, have debunked the claims by APC candidate. Counsel for INEC also posited that in view of Section 62 of the Electoral Act, the petition of the former governor before the tribunal is based in accurate data and prematured in law. In his submission, counsel for Governor Ademola Adeleke maintained that the whole of documentary evidence on which the petitioners based their case, the BVR, was vitiated by Section 104 of the Evidence Act, as its dates of certification is not corresponded to the dates of receipt issued for certification. Counsel for Governor Ademola Adeleke also cited Section 177D of the Constitution to tackle the allegation of certificate forgery by APC against Governor Adeleke, saying the allegation failed as the petitioner did not call witness from institutions where the certificates were obtained. The counsel for PDP and Governor Ademola Adeleke noted that the judgment of the appeal court, which absolved Governor Ademola Adeleke of forgery allegations is in rem and barred further litigation on the matter. The two councils opposed the submission by councils for former governor that the result obtained from the INEC database is the only credible evidence of overvoting in election disputes, since sections 47 and 165 of the Electoral Act extend the primary sources of evidence to form EC8A and electoral registers. Meanwhile, Ondo Assembly has filed a stay of execution against an High Court judgment which sacked its Deputy Speaker, Honorable Samuel Aderoboye, and reinstated Honorable Iroju Ogundeji. It said it has also filed an appeal against the judgment. Spokesman of the Ondo Assembly, Olugbenga Omole, in a statement said the stay of execution order was filed after consultations with lawyers. Omole stated that the Ondo Assembly would continue to conduct its business in line with global best practices based on the rule of law, strict adherence to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and House rules and procedures. He reiterated that Honorable Ogundeji was validly impeached by members in line with stand rules and procedures. In the meantime, Zamfara Governor Bello Matawale has promised to bring to book the alleged attackers that disrupted the All Progressives Congress presidential campaign in the state last Monday. Addressing newsmen, the governor said that the civilians in possession of AK-47 rifles had ulterior motives, referring to them as terrorists. According to the governor, he had ordered all security chiefs in the state to promptly abide by the presidential order to shoot anybody caught with AK-47 rifle or any dangerous weapon during campaigns. Moreover, Benue State Governor Mr. Samuel Otom today condemned the destruction of campaign billboards mounted by the People's Democratic Party in parts of Boko. Investigation revealed that some hoodlums had pulled down campaign billboards of Mr. Otom that were planted in strategic places in Boko town. Some of the billboards destroyed had no pictures of the presidential candidates of the PDP, Atiku Abubakar, but were adorned with pictures of the governor as senatorial candidate and Chatos Uba, the party's governorship candidate. Boko is the political seat of the TV people, where the national chairman of the PDP, Senator Yochia Ayu, hails from. Condemning the act, Governor Otom said such was capable of triggering an avoidable crisis in the area and called for caution on the part of party supporters. In the statement by the Special Advisor on Media and Publicity, Mr. Trevase Akase, the governor noted that no individual or group had the right to pull down campaign materials of political opponents, no matter the circumstances. The governor said democracy guarantees the freedom of participation to everyone, and no individual had the constitutional authority to intimidate or harass others. President Muhammadu Buhari has urged leaders of the Global South to agree on a common agenda to reduce the increasing burden of debts and inflation on that region of the world. The president said that the huge debt burden has significantly derailed many countries' development plans with the effect of the COVID-19 pandemic, as well as the Russia-Ukraine conflict further aggravating the situation. Addressing the Global South Virtual Summit, the president expressed optimism that the meeting hosted by India in its capacity as the voice of the South would address issues of climate change, food security, and access to energy. Expressing appreciation to the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, for inviting him to participate in the summit, President Buhari noted that the Global South was driven by historical ties and sense of deep solidarity in pursuit of bridging the gap between the South and the North. This is the news across the country coming to you from Osun State Broadcasting Corporation, Voice of the West, Nigeria. Now, our news message. A life lived for others is the best. Learn to use your life to improve the lot of others. Entertainment news today focuses on the economic and social impact of Owambe Party on the Nigerian economy and on Nigerians. Lolade Olu Ojengbege is our guide and report.
Owambe is a Nigerian word meaning a Nigerian party with food, drinks, and merriment. It is often said that when it comes to parties, Nigerians are the best at it, and within Nigeria, the Yorubas are on top of the game. From housewarming ceremonies to namings, burials, and weddings, Nigerians know how to express their party spirits when it's time. The experiment with food, the blend of colors, the glitz of Ashoebi show how much effort is put into planning an Owambe in Nigeria. As such, Owambes have transitioned beyond just a word into a lifestyle that impacts Nigerians economically and socially. Economically, the impact of Owambe can be positive or negative. Positively, the thriving industry of bridal stores, Ashoke, food catering, and the likes are playing an important role in improving the nation's economy and individuals' finances if properly leveraged upon. Opposingly, the boom in the industry opens it up to exploitation, and Nigerians who indulge their spendthrift habits can easily lose control of their finances. Socially, Owambes are important for connecting people, networking, and can greatly improve cultural unity. When people from different backgrounds come together to celebrate, they connect and learn about one another. Bolaji Alade, a party enthusiast, says he has connected with people with whom he now discusses career businesses with at parties.
Parties is very useful for social connection, social networking, and even bonding with people that you've always known. So over time I've attended several parties and have experiences where I've met new friends, people who now talk about things that are even beyond the social aspect of our lives. We now discuss business, we now discuss career. And nothing I would say about party, Owambe precisely, and all kinds of party in fact, is that these parties afford us the opportunity to also unwind with other people. So you may necessarily not strike a conversation, but you doing something jointly together gives you a sense of belonging, and the next time you see, the fact that perhaps you dance to a song together makes you easily connect. So it may not always end in a first time conversation, but it's always a good experience.
Parties have now moved beyond Saturdays as people now celebrate even on weekdays. But when Nigerians chant Saturdays are for Owambe, they are ready to invest their money, their energy, and time into partying. Lolade Olu Ojegbeje for OSBC Entertainment News.
Osun State Governor Senator Ademola Adeleke has signified his interest in supporting the Ministry of Culture and Tourism in creating Adire Market. The governor was represented by his deputy, Prince Kola Adewusi, stated this while being briefed by the management of the ministry. Speaking at the briefing, Prince Adewusi said culture is very important and that the present administration knows the benefits of culture to the society. He stressed that the cultural team of the state should be provided with necessary costumes, confessing that he is not impressed with the dressing which he observed was not up to the standard of their counterpart in other states. Prince Adewusi added that he would love the state to have its own Adire Market soon, so that it will not be only Itoko Market in Abeokuta that the lover of cultural wares will be patronizing. He stressed that having a place for production and selling of Adire within the state will help the state to boost its economy, as the production will not be discriminated but produce and sell to any political party, religion, and race. The Coordinating Director, Minister of Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Mr. Femi Ogundo, has called on staff of the ministry to show support and loyalty to the government of Senator Ademola Adeleke. The career head of the ministry stated this during the annual inter-religious prayer to welcome members of staff back to office after the New Year holiday. He asserted that it is only through their support, cooperation, and loyalty that the vision and mission of the new government will be actualized in all sectors. Mr. Ogundo then charged the rank and file of workers to be punctual and dedicated to work at all times, advancing that only 100% support for the present administration in Osun State will be acceptable. The Osun State Primary Health Care Development Agency has been announced by the federal government as the overall best performing state in the just concluded immunization vaccination outbreak response program of December last year. This is contained in the congratulatory letter released by the National Primary Health Care Development Agency to the Executive Secretary of the state agency, Dr. Adebukola Olujide. According to Osun State Primary Health Care Development Agency, the selection process was backed by data and was rigorously scrutinized by partners. Dr. Adebukola Olujide urged all health workers in the state to see the award as an appreciation for a job well done and also as motivation for greater performance. The Inspector General of Police, IGP Usman Kalibaba, in line with his immediate and on human capacity development, has begun a 2-week fully residential refresher training for all 79 squadron commanders of the Nigerian Police Mobile Force at its training college, Ilorin, Osun State. The program, which began on January 9, will end on January 23. The training is geared at strengthening the operational efficiency of the squadron commanders and ensuring a secure and itch-free environment before, during, and after the 2023 general elections. NPF spokesman CSP Muyiwa Adejobi said the focus of the course includes the use of contemporary riot control gadgets for suppression of riots and other disturbances, crowd control techniques, ambush and counter-ambush diplomatic protection, combating internal security challenges and insurgency, as well as gun safety and weapons handling. The Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps NSCDC Kaduna State Command today handed over the remaining 4 corpses of its personnel killed by bandits to their families for burial. Reports say that 7 personnel and 5 others were killed by bandits in an ambush in Kuriga village in Breningwari local government area of the state on Monday. Earlier, the NSCDC had handed over the body of late Inspector Fidelis Yusuf for final interment on Thursday, while ASC Samsudin Labaran was buried on January 10 at Agungwan Dosa Cemetery according to Islamic rite. ASC Augustine Simon's remains were however conveyed to Benue for burial on Friday. The 4 whose remains were handed over to their families for burial included ASC Peter Ayuba, CA Yasim Elisha, Inspector Michael Musa, and Sergeant Peter Kura. The Commandant General NSCDC, Dr. Audi Abubakar, while paying his last respect to the personnel, said that the incident had brought sadness to the entire country. Abubakar, represented by NSCDC Commandant Kaduna, Mr. Idris Ada, noted that President Muhammadu Buhari and the entire NSCDC staff and Nigerians were also saddened by the event. No fewer than 10 persons were confirmed dead today in an accident involving a Mack truck and a Toyota Ice bus in the Oniworo area on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. The Sector Commander, Federal Road Safety Corps in Ogun State, Mr. Ahmed Umar, confirmed the incident to newsmen in Abeokuta. Mr. Umar explained that the accident occurred early in the morning. The FRSC boss noted that the accident was caused by road obstruction on the part of the trailer and also excessive speed and loss of control on the part of the driver of the bus. He explained that the Toyota bus marked KLD 539XA lost control and ran into the truck with no registration number at the rear. That has been described as an inevitable end for all mankind, no matter the age, status, or religious inclinations. Therefore, the need for man to reassess his life and do the will of Almighty Allah. This forms the cruise of the messages of Muslim clerics at the burial of Alhaja Alimotu Sadiat Adelu, held at Southern Central Mosque, Osogbo. A reporter, Oluwatobiloba Odunuga, files in the details.
The final home journey of Alhaja Alimotu Sadiat Adelu, held at the Southern Central Mosque, Osogbo, attracted dignitaries from far and near, including chiefs, politicians, and top government functionaries, families, and well-meaning individuals. In his words of admonition at the burial of late Alhaja Alimotu Adelu, Chief Imam Olododo Alhaji Yahya Balogun maintained that whatever a man sows, he shall reap, adding that there is need for everyone on earth to serve Almighty Allah with what they have. The cleric who enjoined all to live their lives like death will be coming in handy the next day noted that the world is a marketplace and a place has been prepared for all mankind in the afterlife. Alhaji Balogun urged all to always do things according to how the Holy Quran has instructed, adding that the joy of it all is that Almighty Allah is always pleased with anyone who serve him wholeheartedly. Sharing testimonies on the life of late Alhaja Alimotu Adelu, the children including Alhaji Dahoud Adelu, Alhaji Abdul Fatai Adelu, Mr. Oyeshuku Adelu, and Mr. Daniel Adelu, among others, declared late Alhaja Alimotu as a mother with a good heart who loves her children, her grandchildren, her family, and the society at large. They further described her as a pious woman, a loving and memorable mother, an epitome of love, and a mother who has made an indelible imprint in her services to Almighty Allah and the humanity in general.
Her life is very great, cheerful. She's not annoyed. Why she prefers somebody to offend her than her to offend somebody.
For her to have lived for about 100 years and having children that could care for her while alive, and even for the children to have made all this arrangement for our burial with all these personalities, even to honor our mama. I think mama has been honored.
My mother was one in a million. Fantastic, motherly, fabulous, caring, pious, wonderful woman. I tell you, I never conjectured that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take my mom away so soon. She died slightly over 100 years old.
Prayers were offered to Almighty Allah for the progress of the children, the grandchildren, families, and that of the community. The remains of late Alhaja Alimotu Adelu were later committed to Mother Earth at the Southern Central Mosque Cemetery in Osogbo, Osun State capital. Oluwatobiloba Odunuga, OSBC News.
In outer sports, the final of the 30th Saka Adetunji Adeleke Football Cup holds tomorrow afternoon at the Osogbo City Stadium. Adeyemi Abodeni has details on sport updates. This report.
Striker Victor Osimhen scored his 12th goal of the season, scoring a brace as his Napoli side produced a sensational performance to thrash Juventus at the Diego Armando Maradona Stadium on Friday night. Juventus had won 8 games in a row without conceding, but that record was ruthlessly ended by Napoli. Osimhen scored twice as Napoli moved 10 points clear in their bid for a first Serie A title since 1990. Juventus conceded 5 goals to Napoli in a competitive game for the first time since May 1993. Meanwhile, Flying Eagles coach Ledem Boso has denied having 65 players in the Abuja camp of the Nigeria Under-20 team. He said the team's focus is how to trim the 35 players in camp to 23 that will be submitted to CAF ahead of the African Cup of Nations Under-20 tournament in Egypt. The veteran trainer called on stakeholders to rally around and support the Flying Eagles as the team embarked on the mission to conquer Africa for the 8th time. Nigeria, Egypt, Senegal and Mozambique are to fight for 2 second-round tickets in Group A. The 7 times African champions will play their group opener against Senegal on February 19 at the Cairo International Stadium, Egypt. All 4 semi-finalists will automatically pick the 4 tickets to represent Africa at the FIBA Under-20 World Cup in Indonesia. In the meantime, the International Federation of Football History and Statistics has published the ranking of the world's top goal scorers in third decade of 21st century based on the result of the first 2 years 2021 and 2022, with rising genk of Belgium striker Paul Onuachu the only Nigerian eligible player in the top 49. All goals at the top senior level are counted, including top national divisions, national cups, official international tournament and official games between national teams. Onuachu has the most goals of any Nigerian player, mustering 59 goals from January 1st, 2021 to December 31st last year. Overall, the former FC Ebede product ranks 19th on the list, but outranked current African Footballer of the Year, Sadio Mane, who is on the 26th position. Robert Lewandowski leads the ranking, followed by Kylian Mbappe, Erling Haaland, Karim Benzema, and Harry Kane in the top 5. The final of the third Isiaka Adetuji Adeleke football competition holds tomorrow afternoon at the Osogbo City Stadium. The epic final will be between Egbedore United Football Club and Osun FA team. To reach the final, Osun FA team defeated Ilesha East FC by 2-1, while Egbedore United outclassed Ila United FC 3-1. Governor Ademola Adeleke is expected as special guest, where other political dignitaries and football enthusiasts are also expected to be in attendance. The Isiaka Adetuji Adeleke football competition was initiated by Honorable Bamde Salam in memory of the first executive governor of the state. African champions Haruna Quadri of Nigeria and Dino Meshraf of Egypt confirmed their status as players in the continent African, taking down their French and Polish opponents in the round of 16 of the WTT contender in Durban. Haruna Quadri defeated French teenager Felix Libron, while Meshraf outclassed Polish Natalia Bayo. Haruna will take on Ukraine's Yaroslav Shumadenko in the quarterfinal, while Mushref takes on Chinese Taipei's Xian Tong. The tournament ends tomorrow. Sport update returns on Monday. My name is Adeyemi Abodere.
And to end the news across the country, here again are the major points. Councils for parties to the election petition at the Osun State Election Tribunal sitting in Osogbo, the state capital, have presented their respective addresses as the court reversed judgment in the electoral dispute filed by former governor Adegboyega Oyetola to obtain the last governorship election won by Senator Ademola Adeleke. Benue State Governor Mr. Samuel Otom told today condemned the destruction of campaign billboards mounted by the People's Democratic Party in parts of Boko. Entertainment news focused on economic and social impact of Owambe Party. No fewer than 10 persons were confirmed dead today in an accident involving a Mack truck and a Toyota Ice bus in the Oniworo area on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. That was the news across the country, edited by Olusola Egbodofo. For more about us, you can visit www.osbcng.org. Thanks for listening. Good evening.